What's up, Lock City, and welcome to another episode of the JuiceBox podcast. This is episode 55, and we are going to take a look at Wednesday, April 30th, MLB Slate today. I know that usually I start things off here with a quick rundown of yesterday's games, but I'm a little short on time for recording. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right on in to today's podcast and break down the slate for Wednesday. But before I get into today's games, let me give you a quick reminder. You can join Lock City's premium tier Discord for just $5 per month by going to wap.com/LockCity. This will get you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sports-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. Again, that's wap.com/LockCity, and that'll get you instant access for just 16 cents a day. And it's going to help you become a better bankroll manager and make that profit that we're all shooting for here in this space for sure. All right, we're going to take a look at the MLB slate today. And as always, I'm here breaking it down with you using my favorite research tool, Daily Sheets. Daily Sheets is a website platform that you can find at sheet.today/MLB, where you'll get access to our top projections in the major prop categories every day, cheat sheets for every game, breaking down the matchups at a level of projections, historical history between the batters and the hitters, and also current streaks that the players might be on in different prop categories. You'll also get some information on first pitch betting. You'll see the free plays that we have posted for the day. You'll also see some leaderboards there on that page. It's a super comprehensive tool, and we're really excited to be a part of Lock City and able to share it with you guys as part of our podcast here. So go ahead and feel free to check out that website. Again, that's sheet.today/MLB, and you can see what Daily Sheets can do for you. All right, our first game is a 2:10 start here in Houston. The Tigers are at the Astros. The Astros are minus 120 favorites here at home with the total set at 8.5. Jackson Jobe is on the mound for the Tigers. He's been off to a good start for the year with a 2.7 ERA, and we'll have to see how he does today. No starter listed right now for the Astros, but they have taken the first 2 games here. The Tigers have faltered, particularly in the mid to late innings, and given it away. Kerry Carpenter is on a 2-game hit, 2-game home run, 2-game total base, and RBI streak here. He's been off to a hot week. Riley Green is also having a good week, 2-game hit and total base streak, and Javier Baez, 3-game hit and total base streak. On the other side, Yordan Alvarez is on a 3-game hit and RBI streak. Paredes and Christian Walker both on 2-game hit and total base streaks. And Mauricio Dubon has been the hot bat and consistent bat over the last 5 days. He's on a 5-game hit and total base streak there for the Stros. 3:10 start in Colorado. The Braves finish up their series today against the Rockies. The Braves are minus 225 road favorites. Total in this game is set at 10.5. On the mound, Chris Sale going for the Braves. He has had a little bit of a bumpy start to the year, sporting a 5.4 ERA, but his strikeouts have been there with an 11.4 K per 9 so far this year. And the Rockies are a good strikeout kind of matchup. There's been some pitchers who have really been able to rack up the Ks versus the Rockies this year with all their struggles. So it might be a spot for you to look there with Chris Sale projected at 7.2 strikeouts, but I would not be surprised if he clears that value. In terms of some current streaks going on in this game for the Braves, we got a bunch of guys who were racking up hits yesterday. Bigger streaks, Sean Murphy's on a 4-game hit and total base streak. Eli White extended his to 7 games, and Nick Allen is on a 3-game hit and total base streak. On the other side, Jordan Beck, he's been doing pretty good so far for the Rockies. He's on a 3-game hit streak, 2-game run streak. Hunter Goodman on a 2-game hit and total base streak. And Michael Toglia on a 2-game hit streak, total base streak as well. 3:10 start in LA. The Dodgers are hosting the Marlins. Dodgers are minus 310 favorites in this one, and the total is set at 9.5. On the mound, Cal Quantrill for the Marlins and Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. Dodgers starting to rack up some injury woes there. and not looking good in their rotation. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that over the coming games. Cal Quantrill has a 7.83 ERA to start the year, only a K per nine of 5.1, and projected at 3.7 strikeouts in this game. A lot of batters in this Dodger lineup who have seen Quantrill before and done well. Andy Pages is 3 for 5 with a homer. Freddie Freeman and Enrique Hernandez are both hitting in the 500s. So some good numbers here up and down that lineup against Quantrill. It's got to be Dodgers or bust, but it's tough to pay that kind of juice on a money line. So for me and my money, it would probably be run line or bust in this one, going with the Dodgers. The Angels are at the Mariners here. 4:10 start in Seattle. The Mariners are minus 148 favorites, and they continue to just be offensively pretty well powered here. The problem today is that they will have Emerson Hancock on the mound versus Tyler Anderson for the Angels. Tyler Anderson's been a huge bright spot in the rotation for the Angels, sporting a 2.6 ERA to start the year, and he's got a pretty favorable history versus a good portion of this Mariners lineup. He has held Garver, Raleigh, Solano, Polanco, Rosarina, and Raley under an average of 200 each in his 2 or 3 starts versus all of those guys. The only guys finding success here against Tyler Anderson in the past are J-Rod, 6 for 8 with a homer, Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 5, and J.P. Crawford, 3 for 11. So marginal success there in most of that lineup. J-Rod might be a spot to look. He seems to see Tyler Anderson well. Emerson Hancock on the other side has only faced Kevin Newman in this Angels lineup, and he's 1 for 2, but that one was a home run. Hancock, again, struggling to start the year. He has an ERA that's ballooned up to 7.71. So it'll be interesting to see if he can manage things a little bit better in this one and get the job done. Some big streaks going on in this game. Zach Neto, since he's come back, is on a 5-game hit and total base streak. On the Mariners side, J-Rod's on a 3-game hit streak. Cal Raleigh's on a 4. Mitch Garver, 5-game hit and total base streak. He's also knocked one in the last 4. And J.P. Crawford, 8-game hit and total base streak. Doing it quiet, the bottom end of the lineup there. 4:10 start in San Diego. The Padres are hosting the Giants. The Padres are minus 148 favorites in this one, and the total is set at just 7. And I say just because, again, we got a pretty good pitching matchup here with Mike King on the mound for the Padres and Landon Rupp going for the Dodgers. Landon Rupp has really shut down this Padres offense, and the one time that he's faced them, everybody that he has faced is 0 and has a strikeout against Elias Diaz, Yuli Gurriel, Manny Machado, who struck out twice the last time that he saw him. So the Padres will certainly be looking to do a little bit better against him in this one today. Mike King, on the other hand, has done a pretty good job managing this Giants offense, which has been red hot this year. In the past, the only 3 guys that he struggled with, Willy Adames hitting 400 in 10 at-bats. Helio Ramos has 1 hit in 3 at-bats, and Patrick Bailey is 1 for 4. So we'll be looking to see who can get that job done today. For the Giants, only Jung-Hoo Lee and Helio Ramos are really on active streaks of 6 and 3 games respectively for hits. On the other side, Xander Bogaerts is on a 2-game hit and total base streak. Jose Iglesias also on a 2-game hit and total base streak. The Padres have certainly cooled off since the beginning of the year. 6:10 start in Cleveland. The Twins are at the Guardians, and the Twins are minus 130 road favorites in this one. The total is set at 7. And that's because the Twins have Pablo Lopez on the mound today. The Guardians have not announced their pitcher yet. Pablo Lopez, sporting a 2.08 ERA and 8.3 strikeouts per 9 to start the year. He has been doing really well. He does not walk a lot of batters, and that certainly should pay out towards his favor today. This Guardians offense has seen him a few times. Stephen Kwan has managed to see him pretty well. He's 7 for 14. Jose Ramirez, 7 for 19. Bo Naylor, 2 for 8 with a homer in there. So it's not the easiest day necessarily for him, but if he's got his good stuff, he should be able to work through some of those tough spots in the lineup. Current streaks in this one, Carlos Correa is on a 5-game hit, 4-game total base streak. Ty France on a 4-game hit streak, and he's also scored in his last 5. Harrison Bader is on a 4-game hit and total base streak as well for the Twins. On the other side, Gabriel Arias is on a 5-game hit and total base streak. Cal Manzardo is on a 3-game hit and total base streak. And Bo Naylor had a pretty nice day yesterday, getting a home run in that one. Interesting to see, Stephen Kwan did not get a hit yesterday. He's one of those guys that seems to get a hit almost every day, so him coming off an offer might be a good spot to play him there, especially with his positive splits versus Pablo Lopez. 6:35 start in Baltimore. The Orioles hosting the Yankees yet again, and the Yankees are slim dogs here. It's about even, -112 to the O's, -108 to the Yankees, and the total in this one is set at 9.5. It is another beautiful day here in the Maryland area, and certainly could be a good recipe for some more homers. If you saw yesterday's game, not a great day to be an Orioles fan. It was just Bronx Bombers left and right. Carlos Carrasco is on the mound for the Yankees, and Cade Povich is going for the Orioles. And I think that's the reason why this game is close to even. It's because Carrasco is on the mound, and he's had some struggles to start the year. 5.26 ERA. But he's actually done pretty well against some of the bigger names in this Orioles lineup. Gunnar Henderson is 3 for 5 with a homer off of him. And Adley Rutschman is just 1 for 4. But outside of that, there's not a lot of green here in this matchup history in terms of the big names. Might be a tough go here, but the Orioles are going to want to get back into it. Cade Povich has faced the Yankees once before. Aaron Judge took him deep in his one at bat. Anthony Volpe is 2 for 4. Ben Rice 0 for 4. So interesting spot there, and I'm just hoping and praying that these O's can get a win and take the series. 6:40 start in Pittsburgh. The Pirates are hosting the Cubs. Cubs are -175 favorites in this one, and the total is set at 8.5. On the mound for the Cubs, Matt Boyd versus Carmen Melenditsky for the Pirates. Matt Boyd is sporting a 2.5 ERA to start the year, and Melenditsky is at a 6.95, so a little bit of a rough start there. He has faced the Cubs once in his history, and he was pretty successful against them and shut down a good portion of their offense, but not a lot that you can really take from just one appearance there. On the other side, Matt Boyd has also faced the majority of this Pirates lineup just one time, maybe two. And again, not a whole lot that you can make out of that one. Andrew McCutchen is 3 for 8 and has seen him the most. He took him deep one time as well. A lot of guys who have had a nice series so far in this one on the Cubs side. Almost everybody's riding a hit streak or total base streak of 1 or 2 games. On the Pirates side, the offense has been a little bit less coming, and they're looking at just a couple guys who have been red hot recently. Ke'Bryan Hayes is on a 9-game hit streak, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on a 4-game hit and total base streak. In Cincinnati, the Cardinals and the Reds will face off at 6:40. The Reds are -125 favorites in this one. The total is set at 9. Steven Matz is on the mound for the Cardinals, and he has a 1.8 ERA to start the year, but some of these guys have seen him before in 1 or 2 appearances and have hit him well from the Reds lineup. The Reds offense has also been pretty hot recently. On the other side, the Reds haven't announced a starter yet for this game, so we'll have to wait and see who they have. They were rained out yesterday, so this is game 2 of the doubleheader. Elly De La Cruz is on a 4-game total base streak. Gavin Lux, 12-game hit streak for the Reds. On the other side, Lars Nootbaar on a 4-game hit and total base streak, and Wilson Contreras on a 10-game hit and total base streak for the Cardinals. 6:45 start in Philly. The Phillies are favored over the Nats here, -230 for the Phillies. Total in this game is set at 8. Jake Irvin on the mound for the Nats versus Chris Sanchez for the Phillies. Both sporting an ERA just around 3.25. Both of these pitchers are looking to put their team in a position to win here in this one. The Phillies have had pretty favorable at-bats here versus Jake Irvin in the past. Some notable guys jumping off the page here. JT Realmuto's 5 for 12 with a homer. Bryson Stott for 14 with 2 homers. Trey Turner 4 for 12 with a homer. On the other side, CJ Abrams 5 for 15 versus Chris Sanchez. Josh Bell 3 for 10 versus Chris Sanchez. Both of those guys have been red hot as of late. 5-game hit and total base streaks for both Abrams and Wood. On the other side, Bryson Stott has scored in his last 3. Trey Turner has hits and has knocked in runs in his last 5, and 3 games respectively. Looking at the Phillies there to continue doing some damage at the plate and taking another one from the Nats. The Rays host the Royals, 7:05 start in Tampa. Total in this game is set at 8.5, and the money line is -185. On the mound for the Royals, Noah Cameron, and I believe this is his first start on the year. Drew Rasmussen on the mound for the Rays. He has an ERA of 2.1, and he has faced this Royals lineup twice and has shut down just about everybody in this lineup and held them to 1 hit or less in those 2 appearances. So this might be a really good matchup here for the Rays versus a Royals offense that has been struggling mightily. In terms of some streaks in this one, Junior Caminero is riding a 6-game hit streak for the Rays. Danny Jansen's on a 2-game hit and total base streak. On the other side, Kevin Biggio, Salvador Perez, Maikel Garcia, all riding 2-game hit and total base streaks. Jonathan India is on a 2-game hit and total base streak as well, and he scored a run in his last 3. The Red Sox are at the Blue Jays up in Toronto. The Red Sox -120 favorites here for the 7:07 start at the Rogers Center. The total in this game is set at 9. Lucas Giolito on the mound for the Red Sox, and he has seen this AL East matchup before. He has shut down a good portion of the batters that are in this Blue Jays lineup. The only ones finding success, Alejandro Kirk, has taken him deep 3 times and is 4 for 11. Bo Bichette, 5 for 14 with a homer. So if he can navigate those guys, he might be in some pretty good shape today. The Red Sox lineup has just been red hot up and down. They've been scoring a lot of runs, so it might be a place to look here today is at that Red Sox team total. 7:10 start in New York. The Mets are hosting the D-backs. The D-backs are -115, road favorites in this one, and the total is set at 8, and that's because they have Corbin Burnes on the mound. He's really looking to turn things around and get to where he is used to being. He's had a bumpy start since he's joined the D-backs. His ERA is sitting at about 4, but he has struggled to really put his team in a position to win and to eat up the innings the way that he's used to doing. So he'll be looking to navigate this tricky Mets offense today, which is often kind of ferocious for an opposing pitcher. He has faced a good portion of this Mets offense in his past, especially being in the National Leagues before. And there's a lot of guys who have really seen him well and hit the ball and done some damage. Pete Alonso jumps off the screen here, 6 for 15 with 3 home runs versus Burnes in the past. The White Sox host the Brewers. The Brewers are -166 road favorites in this one, and the total is set at 7.5 for the 7:40 start at Guaranteed Rate Field. Tobias Myers on the mound for the Brewers and Shane Smith for the White Sox. Myers is sitting at a 4.5 ERA to start the year, and Shane Smith at just a 2.3 ERA to start the year. He's done not too shabby, all things considered. White Sox, if there's any real plus side to them, is that their pitching has kind of always kept them somewhat in these games to start this year, and they have a few bright spots in their lineup, but not enough to win consistently. Speaking of those bright spots, Luis Robert is on a 4-game hit and total base streak, and he's also stolen a base in the last 3 games. Michael Vargas is on a 6-game hit and total base streak. On the other side for the Brewers, Jackson Chourio is on a 4-game hit streak, William Contreras on an 8-game hit streak, Sal Frelick is on a 2-game hit and total base streak, and Joey Ortiz 3-game hit and total base streak towards the bottom of that lineup. Last game of the night is an 8:05 start in Texas. The Rangers host the Athletics, and they are -155 favorites at home. The total in this one is set at 8.5. On the mound, Luis Severino going for the Athletics versus Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. Both pitchers have been off to a pretty decent start and given their teams a chance to win, and also eating up some innings to save those bullpens. Luis Severino has seen most of the batters in this Rangers lineup for at least 2 different starts, and there's some names here that are jumping off the screen in terms of some success. Kevin Pillar is 5 for 18 with 2 homers. Jake Berger, 5 for 13 with 2 homers. So those guys might be able to get to him. On the other side versus Nathan Eovaldi, Gio Urshela is 8 for 23 with a home run. Shea Langelier is 3 for 9 with a home run. Tyler Soderstrom is 2 for 3. So definitely some spots where these pitchers could run into trouble, but they're both good arms, and I would expect them to both eat innings today and keep the offense to a minimum. Alrighty, that brings us to the end of our pod where we like to give out our JuiceBox Lock of the Day. We're going to go ahead and get back to that game up in Toronto, the Red Sox at the Blue Jays here. And we're going to go ahead and back the Sox on the money line, minus 120 in this one. We'll look to see if they can continue their red hot offense and keep those Blue Jays off the board. Alrighty, thanks for listening in. This is Trey here again with you, breaking down the MLB slate. Have a great Wednesday. Look forward to do it again with you tomorrow. Peace.